This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. I've said this before, and in the last few years, I really believe it's probably one of the top 5 things that we need to realize in our lives. And that is comparison steals joy. We compare to others all the time. It becomes a way of life where you don't even know that you're actually doing it. But we need to be mindful of it. We're going to talk about that today. Perspective versus comparison and how it affects your life, how you can change those things around. She is somebody that helps us transform all the time as a life coach, and she's fantastic. I love her energy. I love her perspective. She's our professional of the year. Donna Day is back with us. How are you doing today?
Great. Yeah, I'm so glad to be back.
Isn't it amazing when you realize that comparison steals your joy, and where you stop yourself after you start becoming mindful of it, where you stop yourself and dead in your tracks and you say, whoa, wait a minute. Well, look what I'm doing there. You know, I'm scrolling on social or whatever, and having that realization, like, why am I doing it? They're not me. You know, why? Do you do that now that you're mindful of it?
So, I think everyone kind of will catch themselves doing it to a certain extent, even if you become mindful of it, because it's been embedded in us so long. You know, it started off on the at the playground, you know, when you're a kid. So, you know, like it's kind of one of those kind of like habits that or behaviors that you adapt, and then it just becomes part of living. So it's something that, you know, the more you become aware of, the easier it is to break. But I mean, I think everyone can relate to themselves, and even like hearing friends or coworkers or anyone just being like, oh my God, did you see so and so? They just got this brand new huge house, you know, like kind of thing. Or, oh my God, so and so keeps going on all these amazing vacations. You know, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, you're not doing anything wrong, you know? And so, you know, it doesn't really matter what stage of life you're in. It's tempting to compare to others. You know, parents compare their children's milestones to other children's milestones. You know, writers look at bestseller lists. Students watch their classmates ace different tests and maybe excel a little bit faster than them. You know, entrepreneurs fixate on other, you know, big launches. And as I just mentioned, like, you know, or someone simply is just scrolling through social feeds and, you know, see friends traveling the globe and they're at home eating leftovers. So, you know,
Well, a lot of times we will compare to others. Oh, let's say, you know, you see somebody with a certain car, somebody you know,
yeah.
when they have a certain job, certain house, on and on and on and on. You don't know the life that they are living.
Exactly.
They could be miserable in their
Mm-hmm.
life, and they're getting all these things to feel better. I'm going hypothetical here.
Yeah.
But that could be going on. They could have many issues. You haven't walked in their shoes. So you take the pieces away that you want for you, thinking that they've got it made.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. And I'm going to say, probably not.
Yeah. I mean, here's a perfect analogy for what you just explained. It's like watching someone else's movie and judging your own life by their climatic scenes, not realizing they went through their own plot twists and setbacks and the parts that you didn't see, you know?
And I think we've talked about this before. People that win millions of dollars in the lottery. About 90% of them, and this is year after year, these polls have been done, studies have been done, where these people say, I wish I didn't win that money. It ruined my life. The money is gone already. It ruined my relationships with friends and relatives and on and on and on. 90%. It's not
Hmm.
what it appears to be. And a lot of this, a lot of people that, and I see it, I understand it, I get it. Many people buy these things, stretch their finances because they want to put on a show. And then the
Yeah.
rest of us see that and compare. But when you boil it down, you think about what are your wants and what are your needs?
Yeah.
What do you really need to be happy? Is it really the car? Is it the big house? Is it on and on and on? Is it really? I mean, I'm not being a jerk about it. I'm being
Yeah.
honest.
No,
Like,
it's true.
search your soul.
So, and it's usually something that's deep inside that you didn't even realize. And it could have just, kind of come, it's like a missing thing that you may have thought you healed or got through, but
Sure.
it's still there and it's coming out in other ways. So like comparing our journey to someone else's, all it does is rob us of the present of the gift of our own unique journey. So for me, I always say the magic comes when we swap comparison for perspective, and you let perspective kind of ask, like, where was I a year ago, and how far have I come to this, at this point,
Mhm.
like kind of like look at your own timeline, like what are the unique strengths or experiences that I'm experiencing at this moment, or like how is this hard chapter preparing me for something better, like, or have a breakthrough or a lesson that I'll need tomorrow or later in life to, succeed at that opportunity that's presented or
Sure.
whatever it comes at that way,
S- Sometimes life has to break you to build you.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember it was probably 3.5, 4 years ish, where in my journey had some stuff going on, changes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I was staring out my garage one day, and I was actually going to read a little bit, had a little extra time, and it was rainy. It was a little chilly that day. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just staring out. And it hit me, woo alert, that we are spiritual beings in this human container, this body thing. That's
Yeah.
my belief, because your spirit, I believe, lives on the body like a car. It
Hmm.
doesn't last forever. But it was at that moment I'm staring out and I'm seeing trees on each side and just trees. And I thought to myself, you know what? You could be happy anywhere.
Yeah.
All of the house, the on the hill and the two cars, the fence, I had it. Trust me. A lot of it's an illusion. Just you want peace and happiness. Money doesn't always buy that.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Sometimes, like you said, it could just be, seeing a sunset, that could bring more joy sometimes than other things, or even, just taking a walk on the beach, and hearing the ocean waves. Like it's, those
Oh yeah.
grounding experiences that bring you back in to yourself, which then you can kind of like, then you naturally start to feel like, oh, wow, this really makes me happy. And you didn't realize it because,
Yes.
you're distracted by other things.
You're
And you
you're
were
distracted walking through the showroom of the car dealership,
Yeah. And
financially strapping you.
yeah, that
Yeah.
and all the salesmen coming at you and
Right.
giving them any type of line to make it even sound better and bigger and
hmm But to be honest, like I bought myself a car a year ago. It's coming
Yeah.
up on a year ago. Um, got a great deal on it, and I feel I deserved it. I worked for it, and it's nice. I appreciate it. I really
Yeah.
do. I'm grateful. But I have a 25-year-old Jeep sitting in front of my place that I enjoy driving even more
Or yep.
because it's basic. Side note, somebody sideswiped it with a snowplow a couple
Oh,
of days ago, and
oh
I'm
no.
waiting for a phone call to see how we're going to resolve that. But you know
Oh,
what? And popped a tire. But you
yeah.
know what? It keeps on going. It keeps on.
Yeah.
But I enjoy driving it because I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And there's something there that it's simple. It's simple.
Yes. And that's like me. Like I ended up getting rid of my fully manual Jeep Wrangler when I almost married this guy that had two kids and I had one. So to get a family car, because what do you need a Jeep Wrangler for three kids, you
I'll
know?
buy yours. I'm going to sell this one because it's
Yeah,
time.
you
Or it's
know,
gone already.
and my daughter's getting to the age where she's gonna start driving. So I got a newer car and everything. She's gonna have that, and I am going to find myself that Jeep again. That's fully manual, simple, roll down windows, because there's just something about it that just lights me up, and I miss that. I miss my Jeep. So I know what you're talking about.
I'm getting goosebumps as you're talking. I wish I could show you because I get it. The roll down windows is like I'm chuckling, but yeah, no,
Like
it's simple.
so simple.
Simple.
Not these big screens with like all this GPS tech, like basic, simple. Go back to the maps. Like that's me.
And I'm cool with that too. I'm a geek, technology and all of that. There's a place for it, but
Yeah.
it goes back to life in general. Sometimes you just want simplicity.
Hmm.
And I guess here to the point with the comparison, and if you try to keep up with the Joneses, it complicates your life even more,
Yes. Hmm.
right?
And then are you really, getting things and achieving things that are important to you? Are you just achieving and getting things because that's a societal norm? Like the white picket fence, how
Yeah,
everyone strives for it. Does the white picket fence really make everyone happy? You know what I mean? Or is that just what people shoot for because that's what, is like known to like be the happy point, with the dog and the fence and
yeah,
the happy couple with the kids and
I
but
get
is
it.
that everyone's dream? You know?
Maybe it's a dream, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
But is it realistic? Do you really need it? I had a
exactly.
house, sold it a couple of years ago, life change and all that. I renovated the entire backyard. And a lot of it, I trenched wires myself. I got a passion for that. Um, I put a lot of work into it, did it for my family, my kids, playing in the pool and everything. I worked my butt off for that, and I legit gave myself an ulcer.
Oh my God,
Sent me to the hospital.
that's
Can't make it
horrible.
up. I didn't know what it was, and then
Yeah.
eventually, I like my eyes were popping out of my head. My blood pressure went up because I didn't know what the situation was. Usually, no issues whatsoever health wise. It was all good, but looking back at it, and I remember where I was and I would mow the lawn myself on a tractor, an old tractor. It'd be fun, that's my therapy. And one day I was like, God," and I had this thought drop into my head. You're done here. You
Yeah.
came, you conquered. I wanted to prove to myself I pull this off. It was amazing. It was like a resort.
Yeah.
I did it. That was that chapter. New chapter now.
Yeah.
Looking back, I would do things differently. Now that I see things in a different light,
Different way.
just what you're talking about today.
Yeah, but at that time, that was where your journey was meant to be. So you
Yeah.
could find your, path as you keep going along. And,
Hmm.
because I did the same thing. I had the house, I fixed it all up and, all that
Sure.
type of stuff, had the perfect like white picket fence family. And at that time it was what it was and it was great. But then I started realizing I'm not really stay-at-home mom material. I like to work, Don't get me wrong, I like being home too,
Sure.
but like I have that craving. So like I'm like, this isn't really fitting, but like you have to experience those things to find what really does make you happy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And
and
and you know what? I don't mean to cut you off, but I just got a thought, and I think this
yeah,
applies for both of us and everybody. Take those experiences and from them, take what did it for you, what
yeah.
made you happy. Because when I think back, I loved landscaping. I would go out there with a scissor and cut plants. Everything was meticulous. I don't have OCD or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that was kind of my mindset. I want like, yeah, I could do this. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Um, I loved walking in the dirt with my bare feet. And now when I look back at it, I was like, all right, dude, that's why that part of that made you feel good because you were grounded. I don't know what grounded was, 5 years ago, seven, whatever. I had no
Yeah.
idea. Now I get it. That's why, that's my happy spot. Just walking in nature, barefoot, connecting with the earth. So I take that away and I use that now whenever I can, because that resonates for me.
Yeah.
Did you find pieces of that life that you were in worked for you?
Yes, like the one thing that was baking. I designed my own kitchen
Ah,
because the when I got the house, I didn't realize there was mold all in the kitchen. So I had to tear it all apart. So when I designed it as a baker's kitchen. So that is something that I will always hold on to because that was my happy place, playing music, and just like baking in the kitchen and having that space. Now I don't have a kitchen like that, so my goal, is eventually work that way. But like, that is something that truly made me happy at that time, as well as be where my home was located.
hmm.
It was more in like nature, so it was a little bit more peaceful, not as busy. Like where I am now, it's nice. It's a small town, but there's a lot more people around, and that's sanctuary of the quiet and hearing the birds and seeing the deer and all the little animals outside was nice.
I got a thought here, and I wonder about this. There was mold in the kitchen. It had to be redone. On a universe level, do you think that maybe that was supposed to happen so you would see that kitchen, you would make it yours, and it would validate your passion for cooking, baking?
Yes, I do.
Mm,
I like, like that is something that was like at the moment, like, oh my God, how is this happening? Just bought a house. I don't have money to redo a whole kitchen, like at that point. But looking back, I figured out how to budget it, built the kitchen exactly how I envisioned it, and, everything did work out. But at the time, I felt very panicked and pressured.
oh, sure. Oh, totally, totally.
Yeah, but
How do we change our perspective? Like it seems that we've done it in many ways, but we still compare. You sit late at night
yeah.
scrolling, like, well, look at that, and you catch yourself, but we still do it. How do we change that perspective?
So it's gently it's just shifting your focus, like exactly
Mm,
like what we've been doing right now.
mm.
Instead of focusing on everyone else's life, we're focusing deeper on our own lives and seeing the joys that we may have missed at a time in the past, and now we
Truth.
can bring them forward. So it's all about shifting the focus, focusing more on your journey instead of everyone else's journey, and just being able to celebrate with everyone else when they do have good things happen and, achieve huge things. But don't to try not to get like jealous, think about like
Yeah.
where you are and where you're headed, so like maybe this isn't your celebratory time at the same moment as your friend, coworker, or whoever, but doesn't mean yours isn't right around the corner.
You know, Thank you for saying that because celebrating somebody else's wins can help you on an energetic level.
Yes.
All right, so you don't want to compare. You try not to, but you are scrolling, let's just say, and you see somebody on vacation. You see somebody with that perfect partner. Well, they're all happy and everything.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're thinking to yourself, I'm not going to like that. I don't know. Well, hell with them. On to the next one. On to the next one. Um, I'm not even going to comment. And just go past. I don't want to see it. Just move past it. Maybe we should do that because you're celebrating them.
Mhm.
People will eventually celebrate you when that all comes around. Good karma,
It,
if you will.
yeah, it's just that, full circle of life that like keeps going around, So it's just, it's just shifting the focus, not be so much envious or jealous, just kind of, also think about it. Like if you have a good friend, you kind of know what they've gone through,
Sure,
like
sure.
so think about where they were like 3 years ago and now they're here. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like, kind of cheer them along the way, just like, they can help cheer you along the way, when you're, rooted in perspective and not comparison, you free up your energy. The inspiration and creativity and all that stuff is right there at your fingertips to take as your next step instead of just kind of getting caught up and like putting yourself down that you're not as good or you're not where you should be and all that stuff. All those negative vibrations that weigh you down instead of lift you up.
All right,
So,
so I have a wooey kind of question.
Okay.
And so it's related to what we're talking about.
hmm
Do you feel that we are who we are, but the real us gets buried and hidden because of comparison and other things in life? But when you have that realization, like we're talking
Yeah.
about, you didn't need this, I didn't need that, wanted to keep it simple. Life is wonderful sometimes, most times when you do that. Is that the real you that's allowed to shine or come to the surface? In other words, are we changing, or is that in us anyway, but it got buried by the comparison, the white picket fence, this, that, all of that? What do you think?
In my opinion, I think that everyone is born with like who they are or what their purpose is and everything like that. And through all the challenges and traumas and experiences through life, you kind of get a little bit mixed and mangled with it all. So a lot of you become gets pushed down, and that's can also become from pressures from expectations from parents or friends or coworkers. It can come from different traumas where you start thinking like you're not good enough.
Yep.
So instead of that shine coming through, now it's being weighted down by like, oh my God, they're doing that. They're doing that. There's no way I could do that because now your self-worth is way down. So all your life experiences kind of pack on top. And when you actually, and then, all the chaos keeps circling around you. So you keep getting lost in that. There's so many that, don't take the time, like we've talked about on many different segments of even taking 5 minutes to yourself. Just sit with yourself so you can actually kind of declutter from all of that and actually feel your essence, like what's actually upsetting you, what's bringing you joy, what's that. But if you don't kind of tame the noise a little bit, you're not going to be able to hear yourself and you're not going to be able to break through. But once you have that breakthrough, life is so different. And, that's what a lot of life coaches help people do with different, tips and tricks and strategies to help overcome it. It's kind of like, everyone has gone through a whole lot of things. So now instead of these people having to take 10 years just like this person, now they're on the accelerated rate because someone now has tips and strategies to give them to speed up the process. So now they can reach this point, quicker. And that's,
I
finding
don't want to
themselves.
agree with you just to agree with you. Beautifully said. And I do agree. And only recently am I seeing this now. And they say that when a baby's born, it is its pure essence. It is you're born with these things, call it a soul contract, whatever you want to call it, but that baby has everything that human is to become. It's
Yep.
life purpose. It's all of it. It's in it, the DNA. It's there. And
Yeah.
then life begins, and
Yep.
picture it as a boat on the river, on the ocean, and it's piloting forward. And
Mhm.
then,
Maybe.
childhood traumas take place,
Or
and
the
the
storm.
storm comes. Now it's off course and slightly gets back on
Yep.
course, but then, oh, well, I need that big flashy car. That now you're really not being your true self. You're just getting that car to show your friends off and all of that.
Yeah.
Now you're off course, but when you start being the you were meant to be, once you see through the there's nothing wrong with having a flashy car.
Yeah.
Do you need it? Does it really support you?
Yeah.
Once you get back to who you really are, like you just said, wonderful things happen. You realize I don't need all this stuff in life. I just want to be happy. I want to be me. I gotta be
Exactly.
me.
You just
Yeah,
have to know that you already have and possess everything you need
agreed.
to be that happy, joyous, abundant person.
Loving
E-
and sharing.
Exactly. Sharing, caring, kind-hearted, waking up, loving your life every day, even if stuff, that doesn't mean things don't happen. Things still happen even when
Yeah,
you're way up here on the vibrations. It's
sure.
just that you can kind of sail through it easier instead of getting knocked down and having to work so hard to get back up again.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Totally. Like your boat can like pilot through that a lot easier.
Yes.
It's almost as if once you figure this stuff out, you try to not compare so much and you do the work on yourself to realize what's up.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you put up some other sails and now you can, the universe, the wind can push you through that quicker, easier. Great
Those
talk
sails
today.
are like the boundaries, you know what I mean? That you kind of like set to kind of protect yourself, even though sometimes it's hard to set them because other people, may not understand why.
Well, then when you have trouble setting them, what's happening? The boat is going off course a little bit.
Yeah, so
and understandably, no judgment here. We've all been through it. Wonderful conversation as always with you. This is what you do. I want to challenge everybody too. If you've had this type of epiphany, realization in your life that we're talking about here, maybe the real you has started to come through. Instant feedback, steve@gmail.com. Keep it anonymous if you want. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear your story.
Definitely.
We're sharing, our thoughts here. We'd love to hear other ones. And certainly if somebody wants to reach out to you on a coaching level or just pick your brain, how do we find you?
The best way is signing up for a strategy session on my website at www.donnadaytlc.com, or you can email me at donnadaytlc@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a text or give me a call at 201-719-6991, or check me out on social media. So on Facebook, it's Donna Day TLC.
I love talking with you, and I always feel better after it.
Well, good. So do I, honestly.
But I'm telling you, it's the energy that you have. And not that, we align here in terms of what we're talking about, but it's the energy. It really is. It really is. Thank you, as always, and we'll catch up soon, okay?
All right. Have a wonderful day.
All right, Donna. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.